So what happens if you crack a $40 million quarterback's back wrong on game day?
I mean, I assume you get escorted out by security and never work in professional sports again.
Yeah, pretty much. So our guest today has adjusted Seattle Seahawks spines for over 12 seasons. That's through the Legion of Boom, a Super Bowl win, and roughly 30,000 plays where one wrong move could have ended his career. And yet he was never fired.
Jim Kurtz is here to tell us what NFL chiropractic actually looks like. And spoiler, it's nothing like what you see on TikTok. We're talking halftime chaos, $200 million bodies, and why every NFL team now has a chiropractor, but nobody seems to talk about it.
Yes, this is the pitch. What happens when a chiropractor and a physical therapist get together to make a health and wellness podcast?
But chiropractors and physical therapists don't like each other.
Oh, think again.
I'm Dr. Kathy Lynch, physical therapist who likes to help people move and get stronger.
I'm Dr. Jason Young, an evidence-based chiropractor who uses humor just as much as adjustments to help people get better.
Welcome to the Pitch Podcast.
Remember, there's no I in pitch. Welcome back, everybody, to the Pitch Podcast. I'm Dr. Jason Young.
Oh, and I'm Dr. Kathy Lynch.
Okay, and we haven't changed. 60 episodes in, and we're still the same people that we were when we started, maybe this much smarter.
Mhm.
So, well, Kathy, I've found us a great guest today.
This is very exciting.
Yes, this is Dr. Jim Kurtz. He is a chiropractor, retired chiropractor, which is honestly the job that I want. But he somehow got it. Jim spent 12 seasons working as a chiropractor for the Seattle Seahawks.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, really cool. So welcome, Jim. Can you hear us?
Thank you for having me.
All right, great. So, Jim, let's start with the question that everybody wants answers to. How's retired life?
Retired life is wonderful.
Yeah, what
It's
day is it,
absolutely
Jim?
Saturday or Sunday, I think.
Yeah. Great. Hey, Jim, could you tell us, how did you get started in chiropractic?
I ruptured my Achilles tendon in my sophomore year in high school, running cross country, and felt like we're talking, because I'm pretty ancient, we're talking 1972.
Okay.
And
Shortly before I
my
was
re-
born. Okay, a long time before I was
yes,
born.
Title IX was
Continue.
born that year.
What's that?
Title IX was born that
Oh,
year.
gosh. Yeah. All right. All right. So long
so
ago.
my recovery was not as quick or as wonderful as I had expected. And long story short, I just kind of thought, I think I can do a better job than what they did on me. And that sort of started my thinking about healthcare, but not really sure what avenue I wanted. And then eventually I developed some back pain by trying to push through, a poor running gait, probably a lot of lack of ankle dorsiflexion on that side, and found my way to a chiropractor and a physical therapist and ended up going the chiropractic route.
Nice.
Awesome. So,
Yeah.
other important question, why not physical therapy?
I knew that was coming.
Yeah, Jim, tell us everything that's wrong with physical therapy.
Not a thing. It was really kind of a toss of a coin, but you guys are too young to know this, but I spent a year volunteering in the physical therapy department of my local hospital, and I loved it.
Wow, cool.
But in 1980, when I was doing that, physical therapists didn't work in private practice. They were in hospitals or orthopedic settings and couldn't take a patient directly.
Yeah.
And I wanted to have a little more autonomy, and that's really the only reason I went chiropractic.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you said coin toss. Would you describe that as losing the coin toss or winning the coin toss?
I would have been happy honestly with either one, to be honest. I've always been active care focused, and probably a lot of my treatments maybe looked a little bit more like physical therapy to a lot of people than chiropractic back in the day.
Mhm.
So to me, And my wife will tell you the same things. I practiced with my wife for many years. She's an acupuncturist and a chiropractor.
Oh,
Hmm.
cool.
Our favorite thing about practice was the rehab aspect and changing people's lives
Right.
in that regard. So to me, they're both great professions. I chose chiropractic and it's been very, very good to me.
I really feel like our professions are very, very similar. We just use
Yeah.
sometimes just use different tools, and sometimes we use the same tools.
Yep.
Sometimes chiropractors go out and just do something crazy.
We always love that. We're like, see where they're kooky.
Yeah.
Told you they were kooky.
Sure. Yeah, I think a lot of people, like, you'll hear very commonly that a good chiropractor and a good physical therapist are really hard to distinguish
Yeah.
these days.
Yeah, if we
Yeah.
both did an eval, they probably wouldn't be able to they couldn't figure out which one we were.
Right.
Mhm.
Um, so let me ask you this then, not kind of related to the subject at hand, but an interesting question. Do you think that there will ever be a day when both of these professions grow into one, where it's just like you don't have chiropractors or physical therapists, you just have like some other type of practitioner, or maybe there's
Mhm.
all three, where you have chiropractor, physical therapist, and then the love child of these two professions?
I have no idea. I think the two blend well together.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I tell everybody I have no original ideas. I've just stolen things from so many different people. And my first gig in pro sports was on the PGA Tour, and I learned so much from the physical therapists
Mm.
that were on that staff. It was unbelievable. This is my first time that I actually was in the same room treating athletes with physical therapists, and both of these guys were PTATCs,
Oh, yeah.
and they had been on the tour for 15 to 18 years, so they had a ton of knowledge. And I had never been in a room where I could hear other people, not only watching out of the corner of my eye while I was treating constantly, seeing what they were doing and how they were doing, but also listening, how they were explaining, like their review of findings, um, the active care aspect. I just stole as much as I could from those guys, and they made me so much better. That was a real gift.
Wow, that's cool. Did you work for individual golfers, or were you like employed by the PGA?
I was employed by the PGA
Oh,
on their
nice.
sports medicine staff. Back then, there wasn't a lot of guys just like there are now working with individual players.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, it's evolved. Everybody has their own pro.
Yes.
They bring
yeah,
their own
right.
Yeah.
PT.
So
Or
pros, if you're listening,
we're available.
yeah, you can hire the entire Pitch Podcast staff. We'll bring Raul with us even. Yeah. We're not sure what he's gonna do, but it's just gonna be
Win
useful.
games.
Yes, exactly. So how did you get started with the PGA then?
Wow.
I was working in pro track and field with USA Track and Field,
Mm.
and met another chiropractor, Dr. Ted Forkham, who practices out
Oh, yeah.
of Portland, Oregon.
Yep.
And Ted was organizing basically the chiropractic staff for a lot of USA Track and Field events, and was nice enough to invite me down. I ended up working those for about 9 years, and he got hired on the PGA Tour, worked it for a couple years. And this is when Tiger was just coming out
Hmm.
and having a lot of success. And players then started to bring their own guys. And pretty soon, like, according to Dr. Ted, the clubhouse was full of all these chiropractors and physios
Mm.
and athletic trainers who were treating these pro golfers, but they weren't in the sports medicine trailer. They were like in the clubhouse and in the locker room,
Oh, wow.
and it was just like a circus in there.
Mm.
Mm,
And the PGA said sort of like, wait a minute, time out. We don't want that. There was probably some liability involved there
Sure.
as well.
Mhm.
So they started bringing on other providers, other chiropractors to join, and I was one of the ones that got to try out for it and won a position.
Super
So
cool.
That's
yeah,
cool. And I think that's probably like a pretty smart way to do it too, especially because that time that you're talking about is when the big money
Mhm.
started showing up in
Mhm.
golf, right? Like
yeah,
I think that when far in the future, when they're telling stories about professional golf, Tiger Woods is going to be remembered for how much he did bring financially
Oh, yeah.
to the sport of golf, and so yeah, they're trying to protect their investment, which is smart.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
So
Mhm. Yeah. Let's
And
talk
this
about
the
his Go ahead, sorry.
story I heard, they had somebody got a golfer in the clubhouse or in the locker room up on a physio ball with dumbbells doing squats,
Standing
and
on
the
the
guy,
physio ball?
yes,
oh wow,
that's
hey,
the
these are
story I heard.
athletes. These are
I
athletes, I
didn't
guess.
see it. I didn't see it, but that was, part of the training, and I think the guy fell or whatever, and I think that was kinda the beginning of, "Hey, maybe this isn't a good idea."
So shortly after the funeral, oh my gosh, that's insane.
Working on balance while training the biceps.
Yeah. Well, and I'm pretty sure there's something in my malpractice insurance policy that says if you get somebody standing on a physio ball with dumbbells, you're on your own, buddy.
Sorry, we're not backing you.
Yeah. Goodness. So you were going to ask a question.
Oh, I was gonna throw this out to all the medical professionals in the room.
Hmm.
What do
Oh,
what do you think happened to Tiger's back?
oh,
Was
geez.
it because he swung so
Oh,
hard? You know? Was it because he swung so hard all the time? Did he overtrain?
Such a complex question, Kathy.
I mean, there's a lot
yeah.
of other things, but let's
There's,
just say it related to golf.
yes, there's, oh, related to golf. So I
Yeah.
can't talk about his wife or
No.
car
No, no,
crashes
no. No, no.
or,
Purely medical. Like,
okay.
he has had multiple
Yeah.
back surgeries.
Well, I think part of it is there's some people that just have a genetic predisposition
Mm,
to some disc problems. I imagine that might be him.
yeah.
There's maybe people who've played more golf. I'm not sure, but I'm not enough of a golf guy to
Mm,
really be able to break down. This is where Tiger went wrong.
yeah.
But I think the other thing that happens too is sometimes along the way guys get bad advice
Uh,
in terms of what to do about it. I'm 100% sure though that guy's tried everything,
yeah.
right? So
Everything he can imagine.
I don't know, Jim. You're our resident PGA golf professional. Uh, what's your opinion?
I'm not gonna I'm not gonna comment on that.
Okay.
I'm done.
Fair.
That's
Yeah.
smart.
That is smart.
And that is the mark of a true professional.
And that's why he's here and we are
Yeah.
here.
Well, okay. So how did this then parlay to NFL? How'd you get from PGA to NFL?
So the way the PGA worked was there was, I believe it was at the time, it was 7 chiropractors on staff and probably 5 or 6 physical therapists. The physical therapists were full-time.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So they were out every week, 6-ish to 7 days a week. Really grueling because that season is,
Mhm.
January to November,
Whoa.
and then there were 7 chiropractors. We each rotated through, every 3 weeks. So we flew out on a Monday and worked Tuesday through Sunday.
Mm.
And there was a regular tour at that time and a senior tour. Now it's called the Champions Tour. So there was a tournament, usually 2 tournaments every weekend, sometimes 3 tournaments. And the PGA pulls these 2 trailers, treatment trailer and a fitness trailer, out to every tournament. So those things were staffed. Anyway, long story short was I share a practice with my wife, and she didn't like me being out of the office, every 3 weeks,
Yeah.
covering my patients, taking care of young kids,
Mm.
running the house, blah, 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 which I don't blame her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought, gosh, maybe I should see if I can land something in Seattle so I can still do this thing that I love and not be gone for a week,
Yeah.
every month, or sometimes it was every 2 weeks. So
Mm.
anyway, I got lucky enough that I got asked to work for the Seattle Sounders of Major League Soccer. And I did that for 5 seasons, and then the Seahawks kind of heard about me through Sounders players, and I got asked to do a tryout with the Seahawks.
Wow.
And that
So do you
was
have
in
to do like the
2010.
do you have to do like the 40-yard dash or anything like
Yeah,
that?
what was this?
What's that tryout look like?
I wish.
Like
I wish.
you have to take
Pretty
the
much
Wonderlic test and see how many reps of
every
bench press you can do.
every interview I did was almost the same for all sports. It was you walk in, and the athletic trainers and the medical staff would be sitting in a chair, and they're present a player or an athlete to you,
Mm.
and then you go through your evaluation and your treatment, and
Oh,
that's my interview with the Seahawks was a week long during training camp,
Mhm.
2010, and I just did what I did, So got to the end of that week and got the job.
wow.
That is
That's the
sweet.
short version.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say, wow.
So can you take us through what like a day-to-day is like for an NFL chiropractor?
So we're we all have different sort of experiences. Some are the same, some are a little different. Mine was um, Monday and Tuesday in the athletic training room, and then fly out on a Friday for a game day and treat, maybe Friday night and Saturday, all the way up till about 11 p.m. And then Sunday game day, you have to be at the stadium 4 hours before a game. Start out treating some coaches, and then the players start trickling in, and you're treating players, and just literally right before the national anthem goes off, you're dashing to your locker and changing into your regular sideline clothes because you're dripping wet because you've just been treating all these huge,
Shoot.
Yeah.
huge people. Um, and day to day in the training room was um, open room with the physical therapist next to me and a couple athletic trainers with tables next to me, and we're generally, because football teams so large, you're usually having position groups rotate through to
Mhm.
do their workouts and um, their treatments. And the way our team did it was we like to kind of deal with any movement dysfunctions before they started rehab or before they started their strength training. So we're looking at stiff ankles and
Mhm.
stiff hips and stiff thoracic spines and kind of loosening that up with some manual therapy and adjusting, and then they're off to do their weights or do their rehab, and then the next group comes through, and it's just from about 6:45 in the morning to about 2:30 in the afternoon. You're just seeing one person after another after another.
Wow.
Um,
How,
I
how
love
many
the
how many would
pace
you
of it.
guess that you would see
Yeah.
in a typical, like how many visits would you do in a typical weekend before a game?
Oh gosh, well, weekend before the game, it's a lot because uh, most guys, the same people I would see all week long, and then a lot of players, it's just a mental thing, right?
Yeah.
They have
Yeah.
to get their certain thing done
Uh-huh.
on game day, even though I would say 75% of it wasn't really necessary at
Right.
that point. But
Yeah.
It's part of the process.
Mhm.
yeah, it's part of the process,
Yeah.
and probably a sports psychologist would tell me that it was more important than maybe I thought it was, just
Mhm.
mentally. But
Mhm.
gosh, I couldn't. I don't know. They're big bodies, so if you did, 30 in a day, it's a lot,
Mhm.
um,
30.
because in
Well,
football, it's an addition of injuries every single week,
Yeah.
and it just
yeah.
the laundry list just keeps getting longer.
It's
Well,
It's
cumulative.
and I'll tell you, so like I work with Oregon State, and I can definitely identify with the big body thing. Like I think I used to do this thing where I would in my head try and add up how many pounds of human I had adjusted that week, right? And it's like, oh, okay, we're right at about 3 or 4 tons. And But it's really interesting what you say about kind of that week to week progression, and it changed the way that I watch sports. And I wonder if this is your experience too, because I think the average person, they look at their favorite sports team, and it doesn't matter what the sport is, and it's like, okay, my team runs these plays and has these players and everything like that. And from week one to week whatever, it's like, how good is a team? But when you're doing healthcare with sports, the meta game is, how do we keep everybody like duct taped
Yeah.
together so that they're able to go out and participate? And so, what people aren't seeing is, you're not just seeing the talent of the players and the coaches, but you're also seeing the talent of their medical staff and sports team. Like, you look at LeBron James, who's had an incredible career, and part of the thing is that he's been able to play at a very high level for an extremely long
A
time.
long time.
And it's unheard of. And that is, I mean, I'm not taking anything away from him, but a huge part of that is his providers
Mhm.
have made that whole thing possible. So,
Mhm.
you ever have those kind of thoughts, or is that how you see sports now?
I I think about that all the time. I would also add that I think the general public thinks that most professional athletes are super driven and will do anything that you tell them, because I naively went into it thinking, and this is going to sound bad, but I really disliked treating people that didn't want to do anything for themselves.
Yes.
So when people didn't do
Yes.
any of the self-care advice,
Mhm.
I really I got better as I got older, but I really had a hard time with that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I went into professional sports thinking naively that all these guys or and gals were just going to be all over all this great information I had for them.
Mhm.
Hmm.
And you know what? Not everybody's like LeBron James or any other. I can't think of another one right now off the top of my head, but super motivated,
Yeah.
um, driven. I mean, I don't know LeBron personally, but I watched the documentary
Hmm.
and looked at all the things that he was doing, and he's 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 taking good care of himself
So
Mhm.
I kind of
in
feel
all
like the guy
aspects.
could probably practice, right? He could probably just like, I don't know. Could he get an honorary like athletic trainer
Probably. He probably knows
license or something like
enough.
that?
Yeah.
Because I mean, you got to, because he's doing a lot of this stuff on his
Mhm.
own too, and so yeah, it's an
And Tom Brady would probably another name that would come to mind. I mean,
mhm.
he must have taken great care of himself.
Mhm.
So yeah.
I remember watching the documentary on Russell Wilson. I think he had an injury, and there was like, he did PT for like 12 hours trying to get, I think it was a knee injury. You probably can't talk about it, but um
Right.
yeah, I mean, he was almost dogmatic about
Yeah.
his rehab. I remember seeing that
Yeah.
too.
And I've seen that too with like even some of the D1 players. And I think I brought this up when we had Jack on. And you can tell early on who's going to be able to get to the next level. And a big part of that is how regimented and serious they are about recovery, taking care of their body. These aren't the guys that stay out late, and they're not out there like getting drunk or anything like that. They're taking good care of their body. Now, certainly, like, those people still make it through to the NFL, it sounds like, but
Yes.
yeah, and we read the headlines, so
Yes. So talent can trump that, is what we're
right.
saying.
Yes. Yes.
So
For a period of time.
Yeah.
For a
mhm,
period of time.
mhm.
Yeah.
So, question for you guys: How do you, Jim? How did you take care of your body when you're seeing 30 people, 30 big bodies a day?
I've always been pretty good about trying to take care of myself. I think some of it's just genetics. I was lucky
Mhm.
um, until 2017, and I fell off the roof of my home onto
Ooh.
concrete and put myself out of commission for nearly 2 years. The
Wow.
Seahawks
Why didn't your
took
wife
care
just
of my.
give you an adjustment?
Yeah, yeah. There you go. There you go. The Seahawks took good care of me, held my job open for me.
Wow.
Um, yeah, I
Wow.
rehabbed there at the facility every single day for a year and a half to get
Wow.
back to work part
Wow.
time. So I fractured both of my wrists and had to have surgery and
So
separated my shoulders.
when you fracture your wrist as a chiropractor, that's a bad thing?
Yeah.
That's
Also,
that's like the worst thing.
what's not good is burst fractures on your spine either. Those don't help
Ooh.
either.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
that's what you
yeah.
had? Oh,
Oh my
geez.
gosh.
And tore my abdominal wall in 3 places, tore my meniscus,
Jim, you did it
Goodness
my
all.
gracious.
labrums, my rotator cuff. Yep,
Both?
yep,
Both of them?
yep, yep,
That's not good.
yep.
No.
Okay,
And he
so,
lives to tell the story.
what I'm writing down is no work on your own roof.
Do not go up on the roof.
No.
Jeez Louise.
Don't do it.
Well, I think that's really
Ah.
cool though that they stuck by you. I
Yeah.
think it really speaks to probably the relationships that you made.
Mhm.
And I think for people who are interested in working in sports, I think that's kind of a through line with everything that you talked about is kind of networking, maintaining those relationships, and that kind of carries you from one thing to the next.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
oh, speaking
yeah,
of
for sure.
relationships, we have somebody in common. I think we talked about this before, but um,
Mhm.
Dr. Paul Molina. Um,
Oh, yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. So Paul, when he was at Oregon State, he was an intern at my clinic, and you used to work with Paul, right? Or he used to work with
Mhm,
you
mhm.
for you, something like that. So,
Yes, yes,
yeah, it's neat. So,
yeah,
shout out Funky Paul Molina. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. He's infamous in my clinic because, oh geez, what was it? I think he threw away one of my kids' coloring books or something like that.
Oh,
Yeah,
Mm.
and
ouch.
now over a decade later, he still is seeking forgiveness, so
Wow.
well, can you so here's a question I'm curious about. Can you tell us about maybe a time when and you don't have to, like, name names or anything like that, but, uh, that you've had to navigate, like, a disagreement with a team physician
Oh,
or
yeah.
some other professional on the staff? Like, how do you navigate that?
Mm. I don't I was really fortunate when I was hired by the Seahawks. They had a previous chiropractor by the name of Dr. Jerry Ramagita. He was before me,
Mhm.
Mm.
and he really laid the foundation of what an evidence-based chiropractor could do. So I walked in there with um, no issues whatsoever. Um, the medical staff was used to working with a chiropractor with my skill set. I just had to, like anybody would, I had to prove myself and show them that I was competent and that I could stay in my own lane.
Mhm.
Um, and by that time, I had already worked in 3 or 4 different professional sports, so I sort of knew. I didn't know football that well. I didn't really play football past like middle school, so um, and surprisingly, I didn't really watch football on TV, so
Nice.
I became a huge fan. Once I
Well,
was
no wonder you're a
there and on the
Seahawks fan.
sidelines
Yeah.
No.
and, I saw what they go through, was I was hooked for life, but, I didn't have any uncomfortable moments on staff. We and they still have really almost the same medical and training staff and sports science staff and strength and conditioning staff that they had when I was there. My wife still is the acupuncturist for the team, so
Oh,
I
Oh,
still
cool.
cool.
keep in contact with everyone. Um, yeah, it was really really easy. It was a dream job. I kind of saw for the first time how quick you can get somebody better when you combine the best of what everybody's doing
Mm.
Yes.
and people actually talk to one another and share
Mm.
information and are open to suggestions. It was it was amazing. I don't have any and if I had a bad story, I probably wouldn't say it on a podcast anyway, but I'm being truthful. I
Yeah,
really don't.
good man.
And those people are all I was just on the phone with one of the medical doctors last night. We're just chatting
Mhm.
for the Seahawks, and I just have the utmost respect for the entire staff and
Mm,
learned a ton from everybody.
That's
Yeah,
great to hear.
mhm,
yeah.
So just to rewind a little bit, when I asked you to be on the podcast, um, initially, like you texted me back and you're like, you were busy doing something, right? And I was like, wait, what? So do you remember, you know what I'm talking about? Like when I texted you
Yes,
and you're like, oh, I'm right now, what can you tell us what it was?
I got to go to, so I retired 3 years ago. So I gotta basically go to the Super Bowl as my wife's plus one, which is, like the greatest
wow,
thing.
busy in the
Um,
Super
In
Bowl.
my 49ers Levi's Stadium, by the way, which is
Oh,
yes,
it was a
yes.
little bit painful, a little bit painful.
yeah.
You have a lovely stadium, nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah, right next to Great America there, in not San Francisco,
Mhm,
California.
mhm.
So that was the 2nd Super Bowl that you've been to?
No, third,
3rd.
Oh,
but
Oh,
we don't
oh,
we don't
oh,
right.
talk
We'll
about
right.
talk about
the
the
middle
3rd
one.
one.
We don't yeah.
We might.
The Super
Oh,
Bowl that shall be unnamed.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, tell us about that experience though. Like, what was it like coming
Mm,
back after like having taken 3 seasons off and getting to share
Well,
that amazing experience?
so when you're working for a team, you're not going to parties. You're not
mm,
you know, you're not going to these VIP
mhm.
gatherings. And I didn't realize how many like pre Super Bowl parties there was and little concerts, and it was. I mean, I'm really grateful that they included me in all that. And fun experience. But I will tell you, I've become a bit of a fan snob because
Mhm.
I I was on the sidelines for
Yeah,
12 seasons, and to sit in the stands,
yeah,
it's a totally different thing.
yeah,
So
yeah.
um, there's that. So and we won, and that was wonderful. So
Once you're on the sidelines, you can't go back.
Yeah. Well, so I've coached kids sports. Kathy coaches kids sports. And I'll tell you, I mean, I probably shouldn't share this on the podcast because people in this community listen to it, but let's do this. Man, sometimes I cannot sit in the stands
Oh,
and listen
yeah.
to other
Mm-mm.
people talk.
Mhm.
It's just like so I think I know what you mean whenever you're like a fan snob. It's like
Yeah.
people who are like
Mhm,
disagreeing with a call
mhm.
and they have
yeah,
zero
yeah,
clue what the rules are. And it's
Yes,
just like,
yes,
so
yes.
that's
Bite your tongue, bite your
yes.
tongue.
That's why I volunteer.
Smile.
Like when you're a coach or you're on the sideline or something like that, you don't have to deal with
Can't
that.
hear it.
So that's why at the high school football games, I volunteered to do the down markers
Oh,
because I'm
nice.
all the way on the other side of the field. It's
Yes.
like, yeah.
Smart, smart.
Mm,
nice,
mm,
nice.
mm.
So on game day, are you doing treatments like halftime? Are you like
Uh,
having to
yes,
hustle?
always. Yes, you're having to hustle. You're running in there. Usually, somebody has tapped you on the shoulder and given you a heads up that they need help, or you've already been dealing with something on the sideline a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, the team physician has already examined that
Okay.
person,
Okay.
and the athletic trainer knows about it. And then you kind of already are going in there with the game plan.
Mm,
And of course, you always have players that just kind of wing it
mm.
or try to avoid seeing the team physician and think, well, I'm going
Uh,
to just go see Dr. Kurtz and he's going to, snap me back into place and all's going to be well. And so you got to be cognizant of that sort of thing. But yeah, it's a busy little hectic time, and you're trying to grab a little something to eat and use the restroom and then sprint back out there.
wow. So if the player came to you and didn't see the physician, are you like,
Yeah.
you gotta go see doc first?
Yeah, it would kind of it would depend on what it is.
Yeah. Okay.
But, if it's something minor,
Yeah.
um, no, but once I had been there a while, they kind of let me see people straight up because they trusted, that I would know when it was outside my lane.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, and then generally it's muscle aches and pains, contusions and things.
Mhm.
Occasionally, somebody's thinking they want you to release some tight muscle, and it turns out that that's a strained, ligament or
Mhm.
tendon or muscle, and you don't want to be doing that. So, um,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's just babysitting guys with tight calves, and you're
Yeah.
out there with the what do you call the little massage guns,
Yep.
and
Hmm.
Yep.
just trying to keep them comfortable,
Right.
and get
Right.
them through their day.
That's right. Get back out
Yeah,
there, Jim Bob.
So,
back out there.
oh, Jim Bob, he was on
Yeah.
my fantasy
Yeah.
team. I love that
He's
guy.
good.
Yeah. So, probably very similar to what you do in your regular practice, but what would you say are maybe like the 2 or 3 biggest differences, between working with like a professional
Mm.
athlete and maybe an amateur athlete, in terms of maybe things that you would do or approaches that you would take?
Well, that's kind of a man. You're giving me a hard one.
Yeah,
Ah!
I'm a professional podcaster now. This is the intermediate step between retiring as a chiropractor and and practicing as a chiropractor.
This is your
Prof
gotcha
You're supposed to
Professional.
give us retired guys the easy questions. So
Yeah.
I would say most professional athletes kind of know what works for them and what doesn't, and have a pretty good idea of what they're looking for versus an amateur athlete or a college athlete or high school athlete. They're looking to you for direction.
Mhm. So that's kinda
Yeah,
unique.
I
I have a lot of patients who think that that's where they are.
It's true.
Oh my
Mhm.
goodness. Yeah,
well,
boy.
now we have this thing called Google, and people come in
Oh,
with all their
yes.
ideas about what they think they have and what they think they should do for it.
Yes.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, I had an interesting experience with the patient this week that I had to
Mhm.
part ways with, and
Oh.
he
Uh,
was not compliant and had his own googly ideas about what was going on, and so wouldn't keep appointments or treatment plans,
Mhm.
and so I was like, "Yeah,
mm,
we're probably not a good fit.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
you're too smart for us, and clearly we know nothing, so
Yeah, YouTube's better.
yeah, good luck." Yeah, go up to Washington, find, Jim Kurtz, tell him that Kathy Lynch sent you. No.
How do
Uh,
you feel, Jim, how do you feel like your practice kinda changed throughout the years, especially being on the sidelines?
um, I had a very busy practice in two locations by the time the Seahawks hired me. So, and I was fortunate that I sort of set myself up for that opportunity by having associates. So
Mm. Mhm.
I had already had a number of years where I wasn't in the office a whole lot. I also worked 4 years for the U.S. Olympic Committee,
Oh,
mm,
cool.
and primarily with Paralympic athletes.
Oh, sweet.
So I
cool.
was out of my office a fair amount with that. And so patients were used to seeing other providers a lot of
Mm.
times, which is nice for me.
Mhm.
Um, I think that there are always going to be people in the general public that assume that because you're the chiropractor for the Seahawks, you must be, uh, the greatest chiropractor in the world.
You probably are.
That's what
So
I heard.
You
That's
so
probably are.
yeah.
they're gonna come in. They're gonna come in. Uh, Chiropractors would come in and want to get treated. They just
Uh,
wanted to see what it was, what special sauce I might have
yeah.
had.
They wanted to sample your
Um,
kung fu.
Yes.
Yes.
yeah, there you go. And I think that's really the only thing. I think it gave me a lot more confidence because
Mhm.
I knew I knew what other providers did pretty much 100% for all these other conditions,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think is helpful. I've talked about this in a couple other podcasts, but one of my biggest disappointments with my profession is that we don't have a residency program.
Oh.
I've got a son. and a daughter-in-law that are medical doctors, and I saw what what opportunities they've had,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and I was really jealous of that.
Mhm.
Um, I think that our profession would be a whole lot better if we had even a year or 2-year residency.
Mhm.
I thought my education at University of Western States was amazing, but then to just be sent out, and have to kinda learn the hard way was hard for me,
Yeah.
Yeah.
um, and very stressful, and I
Yeah.
think there's a reason why a lot of people don't make it in our profession.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I can't speak for physical therapy, but, you know, um, I felt like working in professional sports was sort of a residency for me,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
it really opened my eyes, and it showed me, you know, we all have our biases. I would say that it wasn't necessarily influenced by the university I went to, but you get out and you see other people's failures, whether it's a
Mhm.
physical therapist or
Right.
medical doctor, and you start to think that other people aren't as caring or as uh, um, efficient or whatever at doing their job. And the truth is, there's good and bad in all professions.
Yeah.
Totally.
Um, so anyway,
Yeah.
I forgot where I was going with that, but I feel like our profession would benefit
Mhm.
from some type of residency.
Mhm.
It really would.
Mhm.
I don't know how that would, and I know we have some. We just
Yeah.
don't have enough.
Like VA
Mm.
has some residencies
Mm.
that are available, and I think there's even some fellowships that are popping up.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I think you're right. It would solve a lot of problems. And I mean, so if you're going to be a medical doctor, um, you're required to do residency,
Mhm.
and it would be great even to have the option to do
Yeah. Yeah.
residency. And but I think we're getting there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I acknowledge people like you who part of it is getting people in high profile spots where you're connecting with these opportunities and people who are even outside of chiropractic that can model that type of thing. And so like your leadership, I feel like is really important. And I know that there's a lot of people that are working towards that to make it easier to get better faster.
Mhm.
And,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, in PT, we have residencies. Are really popular now.
Mhm.
You can get your residency in sports or orthopedics, pediatrics, that kind of stuff because we have certifications, and so you can just pass a test and get certified as a sports physical therapist. But they also have residencies around that too, which um uh are awesome. And had I they weren't that popular when I was graduating,
Yeah.
and plus I was older when I graduated, and I was just
What?
done with school.
What?
I was done. But yeah, but I agree because when my first year, I look back and I cringe at those patients I saw, and I was like, I didn't really know what I was doing, even though we all
Yeah.
had our clinical rotations, right? But they just threw
Right.
me to the wolves when I
Yeah.
first started, right?
Well,
It's
Yeah.
a
just
and I think one of the big issues is that it's a situation where you don't know what you don't know,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like, I'm
exactly.
I'm
Right.
working on revamping our website,
Mhm.
and so, through the power of AI,
Oh,
I have gone and done deep dives
oof.
on all the websites of, like,
Mhm.
doctors in the area, and the thing that pops up is whenever they're like, "Oh, yeah, we do a lot of sports chiropractic," and I just kinda laugh because
Yeah,
I'm like, you probably think you do,
yeah.
but you don't.
No,
So,
no.
and and if I was in their position though, I would claim the same thing. And
Sure.
I would only claim that because I didn't know what I didn't know.
Right.
Right. But when you go and you work in that kind of environment and setting, then it's like, okay, this is what it is. And so I think I think you find that a lot in chiropractic actually. I love my profession, I love chiropractors, but I think we could be honest about things that we need to be better with. And I think that with chiropractic, in some sense, to borrow a term from the military, there's some stolen valor, right?
Mm,
Where we
mhm.
want to take maybe some big words, and it's like, oh, I know this medical word, right? And like we've done some training on this, and now I am a I'm a chiropractic endocrinologist. And it's like, that is not the same thing as an
It is
endocrinologist, right?
not.
And you can read a lot about endocrinology, but unless you're doing that endocrinology residency, you don't know what you don't know, and that's kind of the risk. So, I'm glad to hear that you're setting up a residency in
Yes.
chiropractic,
It's
sports
amazing
chiropractic.
Well,
sports chiropractic in
Yes.
Seattle.
Yes.
Nice.
well, I will say that that is one of the main reasons why I was a preceptor for so many students over
Yeah.
the years, because I
Yeah.
felt like I could at least mentor people that way. I mean, at my heyday, I was probably affiliated with 10 or 11 colleges.
Mhm.
Also took some PT students and exercise science students and athletic training students,
Nice.
just to sort of introduce them to what it was that an evidence-based chiropractor did.
Mhm.
So I sort of felt like that was how I would do my little part to try to make the world better.
Mhm.
Outstanding.
But yeah,
Well,
we need some residencies.
I think you've certainly left a dent on the profession in a good way.
In a good
In a good way,
way.
I
right? Maybe it's about like pounding out some of the dents.
Yes.
And so,
Hmm,
well, Jim, we have a tradition on the old podcast here where we like to play a game with guests.
okay.
And so, would you like to play a game? It doesn't matter if you say yes or no, we're
We're
going to
gonna
play
play.
it.
I've never watched, full disclosure, I never watched one of your podcasts all the way through,
We
so I
Okay.
didn't know you played
You know
the game.
what?
So
That means that you're normal.
I was gonna say
Yeah,
that's
okay.
everybody.
you're like most people. Yes. 9 out of 10 chiropractors and physical therapists have never heard of the Pitch podcast. The other one hasn't either.
No.
So
They
I'm
lied
sorry,
on
that
the
probably
survey.
came out wrong, but,
no.
No, it's all good.
It's the same thing that everybody tells us.
We see
Trust
the
me.
stats.
Yes, we know. We know what we are. Yes. That's actually one of the great praises that people give the Pitch podcast is that we're so self-aware. And it's actually just the praise that Kathy and I give each other as the sole listeners.
I like
That's
it.
right.
So,
And Amy Clem.
yeah, and Amy. What's up, Clemster? Yeah, so the three of us just enjoy this podcast so much, and maybe you'll watch half of this episode too, Jim. All right, okay. Well, how you do with this game is going to determine whether you decide to watch the first half of the episode or the second half of the episode. I think it might be fair if we try to do a little bit of Seahawks trivia.
Mm.
This might be too
Oh, boy.
easy for you, but here we go. All right. Question number 1. In what year did the Seattle Seahawks play their first NFL season?
Oh.
I think it was 76.
Woo!
Wow.
Bingo.
Right?
Got it. Yes.
that right?
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Excellent.
Wow.
All
The
right.
year I graduated from high school.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. So you're on a
Yeah,
roll
yeah.
so far. Very good. 1 for 1. Question number 2.
Do I get a prize, by the way?
You do. You do.
You'll get
Yes.
Okay, good.
If you get enough of these correct, then you get a signed Seattle Seahawks Jim Kurtz jersey.
Don't you have Pitch
It-
podcast sweatshirts or something to
We
give
do-
out?
You know what?
do.
You know what? If you go 10 for 10, I'm gonna send you a Pitch Podcast sweatshirt. Actually, I'll send you a T-shirt. I'll send you one of our NARD T-shirts. Do you know what NARD stands
I
for?
actually have it on today.
Oh, you do?
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, NARD stands for not a real doctor.
Oh,
Yes, it's branded. So
okay.
Jim is playing for a NARD Pitch Podcast T-shirt. Here we go. And you're on a roll. You're 1 for 1. Question number 2.
Okay.
Who is the Seahawks all-time franchise leader in receiving yards?
Mm. Ooh.
I want to say that changed recently. I want to say
I'll give you a clue.
uh,
It did not
Tyler
change
Lockett?
recently. What's that?
I was going to say Tyler Lockett.
Steve Largent.
Still holds
I
it.
thought
Did
Tyler
Lockett
passed.
beat him? Okay, we got to go to
I
Google.
thought
Can you
I think
Google that real
Lockett
quick?
beat.
Got it.
Okay, wow, you might be even more correct than me. We're going to find out. We're going to move on to number 3. The
Okay.
Seahawks won Super Bowl. Oh, I can't read Roman numerals. That
48.
is 48. Thank you. That is right. Yes, 48 in February 2014. Which team did they defeat? You already said it. And what was the
Let
score?
me see.
Uh-huh.
The Denver Broncos. Ooh, I've got the score on my Super Bowl on the inside of my Super Bowl ring.
Wow.
I'm terrible about remembering scores.
Yeah.
It was a blowout.
Yes.
Was it like 48-7 or something? Or
Close. 43-8. We're going to give you credit for that
40,
one. Yes.
okay,
Very good.
okay.
Number 4, what nickname was given to the dominant Seahawks secondary of the early 2010s featuring Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas, and Cam Chancellor?
A Legion of Boom.
Yes. What was
You
it
know
this
what
year?
my
The
you know
dark
what do you know what my nickname was for
Oh,
what was
Seahawks
it?
let's hear it.
facility? The Red Dragon.
The Red Dragon.
What?
I like it. Yeah, so if you're listening, you're not going to understand why Jim is the Red Dragon. It's the red hair, isn't it?
Yes,
Yes, all right, the Red
I hope so. Yes.
Dragon. Sweet. There's so much lore. All right, Marshawn Lynch's 67-yard touchdown run against the Saints in January 2011 playoffs, excuse me,
Yeah.
is known by what nickname earned because it literally registered on a nearby seismograph?
The beast mode run.
You're very close. The key here is
Beastquake.
the Beastquake. That is
Ah.
correct. You got it. The Beastquake. Man,
One of
that guy.
my favorite plays on the sideline of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I've got
bet.
I've got so many good Marshawn Lynch stories, but I can't say them on a podcast. They're not
Darn it.
PG.
yeah, because
They're
we
not
are
PG-13.
PG.
The
That
RPG.
guy just seems like he's so much freaking fun.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a blast. Just a wonderful human being, really.
I
Yeah.
think so. I love the way that he is with people. I mean, he's so funny, but like watching him interact with
Mhm.
people like in real life, he seems like he like really cares and is warm and down to earth and yeah.
He's
Well,
also really intelligent. He just doesn't want people to always know that. He's a smart dude.
yeah,
He
I
really
believe it.
is.
I totally
Yeah.
believe it.
He likes to
Totally believe it.
sandbag it.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, he did go to Cal.
he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's not a school for suckers.
it really isn't.
Yeah.
I mean, he had to stay eligible.
Absolutely. Oh, and the legendary Marshawn Lynch moment though was stealing that
Yes,
cart.
yes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Driving all over the field. Mad respect. We got to get him on the show.
So let's do it.
Yeah. It would have to be like pitch podcasts after dark.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Cause I will have to be like
Mhm.
bleeping out so many mother
Mhm.
effers. But it would be worth it. I would love every minute. Okay. Let's see. Question number. Did you find the information on
Steve
that?
Largent still holds. the
Oh,
record.
still Steve Largent.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
But you would have known it, so we're gonna give you credit for Steve Largent. Number 6. In what round of the 2012 NFL draft was Russell Wilson selected?
Mm,
That's a tricky one, huh?
wow. I don't remember. I do not recall. I'm going to guess second, third round.
Third round is correct.
Wow,
Wow,
okay.
Jim, that's so clutch. You did it. Yes.
Wow.
75th overall, third
Hmm.
round.
Hmm.
All right.
I was so
Question.
worried about his height.
Yeah, they were.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They were.
Yeah. I guess he showed them.
Yep.
I guess so.
Which Seahawks offensive tackle who spent his entire 12-year career in Seattle was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2014?
Hmm.
Oh, I can picture his face.
That is correct. You can picture his face.
Um, I'm not going to remember the name.
If I give you his last name, can you tell me his first name? Last name is Jones.
Walter something.
Yes, Walter Jones. That's correct.
Walter Jones. There we
Yep.
go.
There we go.
All right. Now you've already answered number 8, which is how many Seahawks have, or the Seahawks have appeared in how many Super Bowl games in franchise history. That, of course, is 3. You already said that earlier.
No, it's 4.
4.
Oh,
They
yes.
Large.
They
Oh,
lost.
no.
They
Yeah,
lost
I got
to the
that wrong.
Steelers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I got
Yep.
that wrong. Yes.
Largent.
It's right here in front of me, too. Whoops. Number 9. Who intercepted Russell Wilson's pass at the goal line to seal the Patriots' win in the Super Bowl that we are not going to talk about.
That guy.
Stinking Malcolm Butler.
That is
That's right,
correct.
Butler.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Huh.
I don't know if you guys caught this, but this last Super Bowl, he raised the flag at the
Yes.
beginning of the game,
Yes, I
and
do. I
the
do
Seahawks
remember
fans
that.
were not happy about that.
Did he really? I
Yes.
missed that.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Huh.
All right, last one, and you're gonna nail this, and so we're gonna owe you a shirt. Ready? What is the current name of the Seahawks home stadium, which opened in 2002?
Is it Lumen Field?
It is Lumen Field, previously
Nice.
Seahawks Stadium,
Okay.
Quest Field, and CenturyLink Field. So you
Okay.
fantastic. This guy's a real
Wow.
deal.
He's getting a sweatshirt.
He's getting a sweatshirt. Yes,
Absolutely.
that's right. So, that being said, we're looking for sponsors for the Pitch Podcast so we could afford a shirt for Jim Kurtz. Yeah, so just hit us up. Go to sponsors.pitchpodcast.com if you're interested in sponsoring Jim's shirt. Now,
Mhm.
we have at least
Go
enough
for it.
juice to get you your shirt, sir. So,
Definitely.
well, Jim, this has been awesome. Thank you so much. What a
Yeah.
real treat to have you on. Taking time out of
Thanks for having me.
your busy retirement schedule.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we caught you between naps.
Baling hay.
Oh,
baling
hey,
hay.
of
Very
course.
good.
Of course.
Yep.
That's what we do in
Alright.
I
retirement.
could take the camera out and show you. There's about 700 bales out there.
Are you kidding me?
Okay,
Yeah.
you're serious.
Nope.
All
Nope.
right.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I have to look forward to.
There we go.
All right.
That's what retired chiropractors do.
Yeah,
Bale hay.
that's great. Yeah. I bet that's great for those labrums.
Mm.
Yeah.
What labrum?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, we're to
Wow.
the part of the show where we do takeaways. Kathy, any takeaways?
Wow. What I loved to hear the most was how collaborative you were in the sports medicine world. You know, it seemed like you worked with the physicians, ATCs, PTs. And I thought about it. And I was like, I wish the world was more like that.
Right.
That we were more collaborative.
In everything.
I really feel like patients would get better sooner if we could just talk to each other. Can we get a group chat going?
Yes. It would cost everybody less,
Yes.
better outcomes,
Amen.
less
Amen to
stress.
that.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just so hard
Yeah.
to talk to each other professionally.
I think my take home, I really liked what you had to say about residency. You know, it's you got the wheels spinning in my head and thinking about what I can do to help facilitate more mentorship so that we don't have to keep relearning the same lessons over and
Right.
over, and we can elevate the quality of care and everything. So yeah.
Yeah.
And then Jim, do you have any takeaways or take home lessons?
Well, you didn't ask me two things that most people do ask, and one is um, uh, chiropractors are recognized by the NFL, but we're not recognized as team physicians like MDs and osteopaths.
Okay.
The team is not required to have us, but all teams do have a chiropractor. And I believe it really wasn't that long ago, maybe 10 or 12 years ago, that the NFL mandated that every team should have a PT.
Mm.
Oh,
So
wow.
PTs haven't been there for that long.
Wow.
And there seems to be some disagreement amongst NFL chiropractors as to whether or not they want to be officially recognized, or sorry, officially demanded to be on a team, because when that happens, you're working 7 days a week. You're in a different contract situation. And the other one that everybody always asks is, what drives chiropractic care in sports medicine? Like how are we on staffs? And I always say, in my experience, it's been athlete driven. It wasn't that, and I'm not knocking anyone, but it's not like the teams are just saying, oh gosh, we need to have a chiropractor. But mostly it's top level players going outside of the training room and outside of the medical staff and saying, I got help from this chiropractor for this thing that you guys weren't helping me with. And
You mean
anyway,
that the team doctors aren't saying, "What are we gonna do with all these subluxations?" Ah, they're
I don't
everywhere.
know why.
Yeah,
I do not know why that is.
yeah. Who can get rid of these?
But I think that goes back to residencies also because my son who's been through medical school will tell you they didn't mention chiropractic in medical school,
Mm-hmm.
and they get a very extensive education. And
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that when you expose people to what it is we can do, it changes things,
Totally.
So yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, yeah.
Well, thanks again, Jim. You've been a
Thank you for
fantastic
having me.
guest.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks so much,
Yes.
Jim.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're still listening, shout out to two of our sponsors, Body of Health Chiropractic and Wellness Center. That's me.
And Encore Physical Therapy.
Oh, two just excellent healthcare places who do collaborate
We do collaborate a lot.
quite often, quite
Yes.
well. Also shout out to Titan Podcasting, which is our professional podcasting studio here. Great work, Raul. Thank you very much. And I think that there's just one more important thing that we need to get to, and that is that there is no I in pitch.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Jason. Yes.